So give me 1 second. All right, so welcome everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Brianna, and Tamara and I are super excited to share some summer health nutrition tips and tricks with y'all, and just give you a little advantage going into summertime, to be honest. So we are glad each of you joined us, whether you're watching this recording, you're watching us live on Facebook, or you're actually here with us on Zoom. Thank you so much for carving out some time tonight. Or carving out time later and watching this recording. So I'm super excited to give you a glimpse of this amazing community of these powerful, positive people, just like Tamara, and share a little bit of that. I am lucky enough to have been around this community since I was about 6 years old. And so we're really excited just to share some health tips and just a little part of what this is. At the end, I will talk a little bit about what we do and just a little bit of what we've shared with us. But I want to just go ahead and kick us off and introduce you to Tamara. She is an integrative nutrition health coach and personal trainer. And I'm excited for y'all to get to know her a little bit tonight, as well as get to know her energy is phenomenal. So that will come across loud and clear on this, and just get to have some time with her and pick her brain. So at the end, I'm going to keep an eye on the chats on all the things. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand if you're here with us on Zoom and ask, or type it in the chat and I'll make sure to relay it here to her. So I will let you take it away.
Thank you so much. And yes, definitely do the chat thing, because I don't particularly want to put my over 50 glasses on, just not in the mood. Yes, thank you. I can put them on, but I don't want to. All right, so we're coming into summer, and this is summertime, I think, is absolutely amazing, but it's also it can be really, what's funny is kind of more stressful even than the holidays. So many years. Helping and coaching people and working with them, summertime is tough. The schedule is off. There is no more schedule. Everything's kind of up in the air. There might be family reunions or driving someplace or everything, amusement parks, everything's going on. And if you have kids at home, I remember those days well, without school in that time, and I homeschooled, and it was still, having a plan can seem almost too daunting to come up with. So I thought I would come up with a few ideas for you to go into summer so you're not feeling so. So first off, when Brianna and I were talking, we were talking like road trips. And I know a lot of people go on road trips, and we talked about gas stations and when you have to make a stop. And I made trips with my kids at least twice a year, usually at least once in the summer, once in the fall, to visit my parents in Oregon when we lived in California. And that's a 12-hour trip if you don't stop. Yes, I know that because we did it. And I did it only because I had a 2- and a 4-year-old. I would normally do that with teenagers. But road trip food can be a lot. Because if you don't bring enough, and it never seems, at least in our car, that there was enough, because as soon as we're backing out of the driveway, someone's like, "What'd you bring?" And it was gone. So, really, it's an ongoing joke with my husband that as soon as we're going on, I don't care if it's a 2-hour road trip, "Did you bring something? What'd you bring?" Like, oh my gosh, it's an hour or 2 hours. So I did have to come up with some stuff. So I would pre-pack. Now there's the typical like orange slices, from baseball and soccer. Am I the only one who brought those for baseball and soccer? There's those typical ones. But then I started looking at some ideas like, okay, so you want to go to a gas station. Maybe you don't want to bring everything with you, because that means there's a cooler, and then and where are you putting all the other stuff, right? Like the kids, maybe they just don't go. You just bring the cooler of food with you. Just kidding. I didn't mean that. Maybe a little bit sometimes. So what I was thinking is, if you have to stop at the gas station and there is no Buc-ee's, what happens if you're in another state and there's no Buc-ee's, y'all? Just saying. You can pick up things now. So I actually looked through like gas station food, like what was there. And I happened to stop at one, and I was just kind of perusing, shopping for my snacks. But they do have popcorn which a lot of times, not all the time, but what I saw was there was popcorn. It was funny, I mentioned to Brianna, I always buy nuts there because that is an easy one for me to get, is like smoked almonds, or if you don't have a, peanut allergy or anything, peanuts is fine. They started offering all kinds of nuts. And those, the only challenge, okay, so those are really good, healthy fats, really good use of calories. They're calorie dense. Here's the challenge. I'm just going to throw it as a side note. They can be overeaten very quickly because they're so little, right? So 1 pack, note on the back is probably 2 to 3 servings, which that's just not right. But 1 pack, split it, right? We get youth. Am I the only one? You buy that skinny little thing and you're like, yes, this will be great. And then you look at it later, you're like, oh, I could have fed 3 other people. So just FYI, but those are really good. Popcorn's really good. I would avoid, if you can, sometimes they even have bananas. You can grab that. They might have apples. Be very careful of the apples, make sure they're wrapped. And then go for, if you can, like there's RX bars, or there are Kind bars. Kind, RX, and Lara bars, good. A lot of the other bars, we were talking about this too, about Quest. There's some really questionable things in Quest nutrition bars. Muscle milk, a lot of sugar, probably, I think there's actually 3 different types of sugar in there, and they're hidden inside the nutrition label. So it'll say how many sugars, but when you look, there's like 3 or 4 different, and it layers it down. So err on the side if you can on what about, look at, so personal preference, I tend to go for ones that I actually know all of the ingredients and what they are. That's just that's mine, especially on the road. On the road is when you don't want to be taking in something that has chicory root. I'm not going to get into why specifically, just know that it's not good for traveling long distance. It can also just add, you all got it, you knew what I meant. It's also can cause some bloat. And if there's a lot of more sugars in them, you're going to also have a tendency to then crave more of that. So then you're going to be looking for more. Again, most bars are created to be highly palatable. They're not created just for, like, I know they're saying that they're for your nutrition and they care about you, but they're created for you to buy them and buy more of them. And so they're created to be highly palatable. So with that in mind, if you got to stop, just err on the side of, okay, popcorn's pretty easy unless you have a popcorn thing. Nuts are pretty easy. Try to go for fresh fruit. My personal favorite, honestly, and I don't recommend this if you're traveling with kids, to give it to the kids, but coffee. So there you go. Just saying, just iced coffee and water. Those are my 2 buddies on a road trip. Traveling wise though, besides the oranges and stuff, you can do grapes. So I found a really fun, and okay, I know it's sugary, but it would be kind of fun just for a few of them. If you take some plain grapes, which by the way, you can freeze. Frozen grapes are the bomb. You can throw them in water. They make really good, just like hard candies, because eventually they soften up and they're fabulous. But you can take frozen grapes and roll them in Jello. The powder, like Jello, like if you're going to make Jello, the little bag of Jello, we used to color our hair with it. You can now, here's another thing you can do. It. Don't just color your hair, roll the grapes in it, or put them in a Ziploc bag and kind of shake them up and then let them sit aside. And it makes like Sour Patch grapes. What? And then mix them with regular grapes. So you're not eating just that. Always mix up. Kind of like if you wanted cheesy popcorn, do half cheesy popcorn and half regular, right? It's that better than. I'm all about better than. No one expects you to be perfect on a road trip. There's watermelon. So this is for a more sophisticated taste, but watermelon, mint, and feta cheese on a little skewer. So good. And again, these things can be put into like little Tupperware things. And if you're never very sure where to get them, let me just tell you about Home Goods. Oh my gosh. So my refrigerator is so beautiful right now because I have all these things to keep berries in, and you can take them with you on the road. They're super easily travelable. Travelable? I just made up my own word. Make note of that, would you please? But they're stackable and you can travel with them really easy. So just throwing those out there. Making water taste better. You can, again, you can squeeze some of those things in. I do want you to think about twice about Gatorade, Powerade, any of those, unless you're running to where your destination is, right? Think about that. I'm going to Colorado. Unless you're running there or hiking there, you don't need Powerade or Gatorade. You don't. If you're going someplace hot, I don't know, like outside my yard, and I'm going to be doing something out there, you don't need Powerade, Gatorade, or any of those. You can do a pinch of sea salt and some lemon juice. Your electrolytes are good. You can add frozen fruit. You can add cantaloupe. You can add watermelon to water. Anything that's going to make it flavorful, right? Because a lot of times that's what we're looking for. If you're not traveling, maybe you just have events. You can use that watermelon and feta cheese and mint. Fruit kebabs are great. Apple and peanut butter nachos are fabulous. You slice apples, drizzle peanut butter. We use either Lakanto or Lily's dark chocolate chips. Fabulous. Super yummy. Really super yummy. Just for snack wise, like desserts. And I think there was a question, are we answering them at the end, or do you want me to get them during, because I can do them doing.
Right, you can get this one at the end. You're on a roll, so just keep going.
Okay. Okay. And then, so I am going to have to put my over 50 glasses on because I did write everything down in pencil on a tiny little piece of paper. But bringing them, so hard-boiled eggs are great to bring. I actually put mine in Ziploc bags with salt and pepper already on them and just zip them up and leave them in there. They're easy. You don't have to mess with them. Oh, by the way, they're pre-peeled. Don't put them in with the shell and the salt and pepper. It's just not nearly as yummy. Roasted garbanzo beans. If you've never tried those, oh my gosh. So you get canned garbanzo beans, you rinse them off really good, and then you can put them on paper towel and kind of really pat dry them. Get them as dry as you can. Put them back in a bowl with some extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Honestly, whichever one you choose, as long as you're not taking those garbanzo beans, which you're not, over 500 degrees, extra virgin olive oil is perfect. And then you can toss in curry, you can toss in taco seasoning, you can use, I've used fajita seasoning, I've done just salt and pepper, I've done everything but the seasoning. And then you put them on a roasting, or on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven, let those bad boys roast. Now, I do it at about 275 because I want them slow roasted, take them out, shake them periodically. If you roast them too fast, they stay, and it's up to you, they stay a little bit soft on the inside and they get crunchy on the outside. If you want them to be more like corn nuts where they're really crunchy, low and slow, just low and slow. But those make great travel. I mean, you can totally travel with those. And they're better, really. I mean, you take that and mix it with, depending on what your mixture is, you could do that. You could make your own trail mix with those roasted garbanzo beans, the nuts. Maybe you did golden raisins, maybe you do craisins. Do you see where you can, and it's cheaper, honestly, to go into the bulk section, because I've actually tried it. And I take like a 1/4 ounce of everything that I want, and I put them all in one big jar. And then I take a 1/4 cup, little plastic 1/4 cup measuring cup, and that goes in it. And that, my friends, is a serving. Not this or this. Just throwing it up there. 1/4 cup. I do that with nuts. I do that with, oh gosh, I have tablespoon. I actually, for my chocolate chips, I have a little tablespoon, plastic tablespoon measuring. I get 2 tablespoons. Because some things are just, I mean, let's be honest, if it's a finger food thing, like whether it's nuts or raisins or, I mean, even, what would be even finger, any kind of finger, grapes. Anything that's finger food wise, if you're traveling or if you're visiting with your friends, have you noticed you can just be like talking? Yeah. My favorite is when you go to a restaurant, you tell them to bring you I'm going to be old. This is the tell you how old I am, and get a doggy bag. What? Who gets those anymore? But you want it to go will be more hip. And by the time they bring it to you, you've been chatting. There's nothing left on your plate. Well, that's embarrassing. So when traveling or going out in general, if you don't want to eat the whole thing, if you truly want to like take that for leftovers on even on a road trip or something, ask for the to-go box ahead of time. As soon as it comes, have the box come with it, put it in there, put it in the bag, tie it up, and put it at the other person's table. It works great. Or you can put it next to you as long as you don't like open it up and start tie it up. You're fine. That way you have it, because a lot of times that's what'll happen. If it's finger food, if it's anything, it's exactly what Brianna was doing. It's this, you know, we do, especially for on vacations or traveling, or if you're at amusement parks or something, you're not focused on what you're eating. You're focused on having fun, and food is just part of the fun, right? I think that was it. And
the other place, I'm gonna hop in real quick. The other place that's really easy to do is the movie theater. And a lot of people frequent the movie theater during the summertime because it's cool if you're here in Texas, and it's a fun place to go that everyone has to be quiet, right? So if you have tons of kids, like everyone's quiet and sits in a row and they watch the movie. But just be aware of that. If you buy that big tub of popcorn, you will eat the whole thing before you leave, just exactly what you were saying. Or the big box, you know, the share size of the Reese's Pieces that you never share, right? Because you eat it all the whole time, because you're distracted by what's happening in front of you.
Unless your husband takes the bag from you and you have to share. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out. Okay, so again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to risk it and see if we get thrown off. I used to bring my own popcorn with me, but I did. I would make my own popcorn, put it in a bag, and my daughter and I call it our movie purse. Popcorn. I would also bring carrots and mustard. That is, I know it sounds weird, but carrots, those organic baby carrots dipped in spicy brown mustard is the bomb. It's so good because it's sweet and savory. It's super yummy. So yeah, movies are notorious for that. Notorious, which is why we don't get the tub anymore. I don't care, unless you have a small community that you came with. Nobody needs a tub of popcorn. And my husband, if he heard that, he's gone. If he heard that, he would be so in here saying that's not true. He loves popcorn, and he takes peanut M&Ms and dumps it in. Okay, right? Yeah, see, we're all like, oh, I use Junior Mints. Yeah, right. We all have and then we're going to share. We all have our own thing. Bringing sandwiches and stuff can be really helpful depending upon whether you're going to make them or have them at the house. I pre-make chicken salad, and I don't, as much as I love HEB's pre-shredded chicken, I'm so spoiled by them. But as much as I love that shredded chicken, I really prefer, you didn't know they had shredded chicken? Your faces look so confused. Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Oh, okay. Really? You didn't know that? Oh my gosh. Between the pre-sliced cucumbers and the pre-shredded chicken, I don't even know why I would go anywhere else to shop. Yeah, go in the deli where the take and bake pizza is. You know they have take and bake pizza, right? Okay, good. Whew. Now I didn't even know what I would do at that point. But as much as I like that shredded chicken, I don't like making chicken salad with it. I like my chicken salad to be actual chicken breast that I cut up. I'm a little pretentious that way. So I will cut up chicken breast, and I will use homemade mayonnaise. Yes, I make homemade mayonnaise. Or I'll get Primal Kitchen mayonnaise and I will add curry and then grapes that I've cut in half. That just sounds so weird. Okay, what grapes in half? But I just prefer them cut in half. And either walnuts or pecans, which are soft. And then a lot of times celery too, and make a huge batch of chicken salad. And then that way I'm not having to wonder, okay, what am I gonna grab to make for lunch? It's already there. And you can put it on bread or whatever if you want, or you can take romaine lettuce leaves and make lettuce wraps. And so you're not having to, if you're concerned with your simple carbohydrate intake, because bread tends to be more of a simple carb, you don't even have to worry about that. It's not even a part of it. Or you can just put it in a bowl and eat it, or you can eat it with jicama. Jelly jicama. Oh my gosh, I love jicama so much too. Yes. Oh, jicama, make a little jicama. I don't know what you would call them, like a tortilla. It almost like they're just little round, pretend. And you put everything on it, eat it on the jicama. So it's just a really easy snack. Yogurt's really easy. I tend to take yogurt and I put nuts and stuff in it because a tablespoon of nuts works great for that. That can be a really easy snack even to take with you on trips, because if you get the pre-done yogurt, I like plain yogurt. I like plain yogurt with frozen fruit. You take plain yogurt, put frozen fruit in it, let it sit, the fruit melts, the juice from the fruit goes into the yogurt, you mix it up, you eat it. It doesn't taste like plain yogurt anymore. Now you have flavored yogurt. So, hard-boiled eggs, like I said, do those. You don't have to have just salt and pepper. I was actually thinking I've done everything but the seasoning with those, and that just takes them up a notch. Or Tajin. You guys like Tajin? Do you know what Tajin? Okay. A lot of people don't know what that is. So it's like, but that is, they don't. Maybe because I say Tajin. What is Tajin? So it's spelled Tajin, and it's a seasoning found in the produce. Yeah. Tajin. Yeah. I've heard it actually pronounced both ways and both times from Hispanic families. So
I will say I had a pineapple margarita the other day, and that's what they dressed the glass with.
Really? Ooh, yummy.
Not necessarily a healthy summer nutrition tip, but it was phenomenal.
But you know what? That's like, you can have those. You don't have to okay, no, I'm sorry. I just can't have it. Whatever, right? It doesn't. I'm sure my cupcake I had on Friday for my birthday followed Saturday by the most, oh my gosh, Lollipops has the best cookies. I mean, Mo cookies are the best cookies, but Lollipop has the best butter cookies, just throwing it out there. Also, not the healthiest option for summer, but whatever. Any questions now? I know I've kind of loaded you. I hope you're taking notes. Actually, I'm going to create a PDF from this. So it'll be okay. I'll have a lot of them on there and we'll make it pretty. There is a question. What do you subtract from a carb count besides fiber? That's it. That's it. Are you looking to lower your carbohydrate intake? Whoever.
So I asked that, Tamara, because my husband's diabetic, and we were told that you could subtract the fiber from the total carbs, and also the like the sugar alcohols and some of the other stevia, some of the other sweeteners. So I don't know if I'm remembering that right or not.
I've actually never heard about subtracting any sugars because carbohydrate is a sugar. However, subtracting fiber from it just gives you net carbs, which can be really helpful. And honest to goodness, is it type 2 or type 1? Type 2, okay. So type 2 diabetes is not the same as type 1. That's why I asked, because one is an autoimmune disease and the other one's not. And type 2 can be a little bit what I would consider punchy. So you can have two people with type 2 diabetes, and one person's going to react to sweet potatoes and not to white potatoes, and another person's going to react to white potatoes but not sweet potatoes. So net carbs can be helpful. My understanding from at least from the reading that I've done and the studies I've done, that's if you just go by total carbs, you can absolutely use net carbs, but if you can, that's like your error on the side of total, and then just make sure you're getting enough fiber in, because fiber does help you. And actually make sure that he's getting at least 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Do you know that most Americans get about 12?
I was just having a conversation with someone about that. That's the thing that I think the most helpful thing on road trips is don't forget to drink water and eat things that are real, because you keep your fiber up. Because most people, when you go on trips, you don't drink water because you don't want to have to stop, or you don't want to have to ask the person sitting on the plane next to you to get up for the 14th time so you can use the bathroom. But if you don't drink any water and your fiber is lower, you're not going to be going to the bathroom like you regularly are at home, and that will cause bloat. That will cause so many other things that make your trip not enjoyable with such a simple fix, like just drink water and eat your fiber.
Well, and it makes it uncomfortable for everyone involved. And honestly, you can front load water. So front load your water. Don't, if you know you're flying out, depending on when you're flying out, say, so we had the last trip we went on, we left at 2:30. So I had drank most of my water before noon. I had a good portion of water before noon. And then then they don't let you take a water bottle anyway. So when we get there, I always get the big, huge water bottle and I just sip on it for the rest of the time. I just don't, I don't stop sipping on it, but I know that can be the whole having to go to the restroom or whatever, even at night, can be a hassle. Front load your water. Front load it, be done, at least done drinking like, okay, so I know you guys think I'm weird, but this is my sassy water. This is my real water. This is sassy. This is real. Sassy water gets cucumbers and ice. Regular water does not. And sassy water is because it's carbonated water. It's mineral water. That's all it is. But I call it sassy because it bubbles, and I put fruit and stuff in it. But I will normally, I'm not drinking much water after about 7:30. But yeah, and when you're traveling, do think whole foods. That's what I was saying. If you can get popcorn, there's actually fiber in popcorn. That's okay. That's the challenge with nuts too. And any kind of trail mix is you're having lots of nuts. Those are great. Dried fruit's really great. But it doesn't have, you think, well, but it's dried fruit and there's fiber, and there's no fiber in dried fruit. They sucked out all of that. Nuts have a really big tendency to bloat and cause problems with the other thing. So depending upon your body. And if you have type 2 diabetes, you really want to err on the side of dark green, non-starchy veggies, if you can, or just non-starchy veggies as much as possible. Healthy fats, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil sparing, avoid any seed oil or canola oil. I just found out today that soybean oil, which is used in so many things, in order to use it, they have to deodorize it. I don't want to know what they do to do that. I just assume not have it. So if you can have just keep it to olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, it makes it better. Even if you make your own popcorn, take it with you to the movies in your movie bag.
Yeah.
Movie bag.
Well, and that's what Tamara and I were hoping to really help y'all see tonight, that you're going on vacation, you're enjoying summer, enjoy it. At the end of the day, one cupcake, one cookie is not going to throw you off that bad. Now, if you eat the entire cake every day, you might come back from summer a little different looking than when you left, but enjoy it at the end. Take the time. We just want to help you have other tips and tricks on how to have a healthier option. So pick what you can, take what's best. If you're someone like Tamara gave us tons of ideas, and she is going to create a PDF for this. So if you watch this and you did not take notes, we have a recording. I also put this on my Facebook so you can watch it again. I know that I was watching y'all taking notes as she was talking, but that's our intention. And we're like kind of kickstarting a summer series with these, where we're going to be doing more of these on different topics and different things. We can come at you at 30 minutes or less and give you some options and different things. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Tamara, for sharing all of this. I do want to touch a little bit about how we know each other and all of this community that I talked about at the beginning. So one of my favorite things about working with the Juice Plus company is we get to do stuff like this, these healthy living events that we can just bring community together, teach y'all little simple things that will make a big difference on your trip. Whether it's just thinking, oh, I could actually pack a cooler and take that chicken salad with me. That's going to be more economical for your family while you're traveling. That's going to be easier. You know what's going in your kids' diets. And maybe you have a kiddo that's a little particular, or maybe you have a kiddo that's got a gut that's a little particular, and traveling is harder for you. So giving yourself those options on how to pre-package things. If you are watching your weight or teaching kids, just serving sizes in general is such an important thing that people are teaching their kids.
Absolutely.
That's great. Like Tamara was saying, with the quarter scoop here, or the quarter cup here, or the tablespoon here, learning those things is really, if someone hasn't taught you, you just don't know what you don't know. But it's such a simple little trick. Or like the to-go bag, I do that at restaurants. You know, if I know those serving sizes at restaurants are more, but I also know if I sit there talking to friends, I'll eat the whole thing and you're going to roll me out of there because now I'm uncomfortable, right? But I was distracted and I just finished my whole plate. Where if I ask for the to-go box before I get started and I immediately scoot the food over and it's out of sight, out of mind, then I have food for tomorrow, and I actually have food for tomorrow unless I leave it there, which I commonly do because I put it somewhere I can't see it and I walk off. But we just wanted to show a little bit more. We're going to start this summer series with just options of fun things to do. So if you're into fitness, if you're into health, any kind of wellness, Tamara and I and a few other girls here locally in Waco are going to do some fun events with all of that. So stay tuned. If you enjoyed this, we're excited to get more information to you just on healthy living. And the company that we work with is all about simplicity and affordability. So the company that we do this with is Juice Plus, and simply put, they just put fruits and veggies in a capsule or a chew. That's it, plain and simple. So many people confuse it, they overcomplicate it, but y'all, it really is just more plants in your diet because it gives you a convenient way to put it in you every day. So whether you're traveling or you're sitting at home, you can pack capsules, you can pack chews with you. And it's really just that powerful nutrition. It's backed by a ton of research, which I know all of us on this call appreciate and find a lot of confidence in, especially with as the market becomes more and more saturated with supplements and other things that are really intended to help your health. It is really important to make sure you're putting your money, you're spending your money well and getting what you need, what your body actually needs. So make sure you're looking for stuff that has research. And if you're interested in a simple, affordable way to get your family healthier, even through the crazy summer season, ask the person who sent this recording to share a little bit more about that with you. We'd love to do that and just share more about what's brought us together and what's allowing us the opportunity to do more events like this with each of you. So stay tuned. We've got a yoga event coming up next week. If you're in the Waco area, it's our Bend and Blend. And so that one's going to be a really fun one. We're going to do that at Cameron Park. That'll be on May 17th at 10:30. That one we're going to have the Bend and Blend. So we're going to have yoga taught by Kayla, as well as we're going to have smoothies to send you home with so you can refuel after that. And then the following week on Thursday, May 26th, we're going to do a snack meal prep. So right on tune with what we're talking about. You're probably going to see some of the snacks we've talked about, but that's an event that everyone comes and brings one or two things, and then you leave with a ton of snacks prepped for your Memorial Day weekend plans. So I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much for coming, and y'all have a great night.